We bought an RV, and within about a week, the trailer lights didn't work. The dealer charged us $341 to not fix the problem, and then tried to scam us out of thousands more. It rained for 2 weeks straight while we tried to remodel the interior, and I got summoned to federal jury duty 3 hours away. Oh, and we're supposed to be leaving soon to tow this thing across the country for our daughter's wedding. By the time this was all done, we had spent $550 on the truck, driven 240 miles to the dealer 3 times, and lost 2 weeks of our prep time. And the worst part, most of this turned out to be completely avoidable. Hi, I'm Carrie, and welcome back to Retired by Accident, where early retirement mostly means solving expensive problems in the driveway while watching the clock tick away. The RV itself, it's great. We did our homework and we got a good unit, and we're really happy with it. Jeff has actually already gutted the dinette and is building a custom desk setup with a dog kennel and shelving, and I'll show you guys that in a separate video. This video is about everything that happened before we even got to that part. Here's the thing about buying a used RV. You're not just buying the RV, you're also betting that the vehicle hauling it is going to cooperate. Ours did not cooperate. So anyway, we go to pick up the new RV and we hook everything up. We're excited and we go to check the brake lights and the turn signals on the RV. Nothing. Did have running lights, but no brake lights, no turn signals, and we are facing a 2-hour and 15-minute drive home, half of which is after dark. Now, the lights work fine on the seller's truck. We watched them work before we paid, so we know the RV is fine. The problem is clearly the truck. And we do make it home okay, thank heaven. And then Jeff and I spent hours on this, and I mean hours, cleaning corrosion. We consulted YouTube and the internet, AI, my brother who basically knows everything about everything on wheels. We consulted each other, which involved basically a lot of standing in the driveway saying, okay, try it now, and responding with, nope, nothing. So we take it to the dealer, right? Over a week later, the dealer says the problem was just corrosion and they got it fixed. So we get it home, and now one side works. One side. So now we have to drag both the truck and the trailer back to the dealer, and they tell us that they found the actual problem, just a broken clip. And here's the thing, the mechanic says he found this problem the first time and he wrote it down, but the guy up front didn't tell us about it. He told us the problem was fixed with just cleaning the corrosion. So on the first visit, they sent us home with a repair that did not address the actual problem, which they had already identified and just didn't bother to mention. But they still charged us $341 for the pleasure of driving 80 miles to see them. Yeah. So we ordered the correct part for another $118. And we wait for it to come, and then Jeff installs it, and it still does not work. In fact, it's exactly the same as before. So now what? I'm panicking, thinking that we're going to have to end up buying another truck, and that is definitely not in our budget. Jeff's a little more level-headed though, and he decides that he just has no other choice but to figure it out himself. So he literally starts tearing things apart. And he starts replacing bits and pieces that might be involved, but ultimately nothing works. Eventually, he decides it has to be the specific part that's going to cost $400 to replace. So he does what any sane man would do, and instead of replacing the part, he just jury-rigged it. And for the cost of a single wire from the brake light to the connection for the trailer, everything works. Okay, so here's why this isn't just annoying truck stuff, right? Originally, we had 2 weeks to drive from Washington State down to Florida for our daughter's wedding, leisurely seeing things along the way like the Grand Canyon, Zion National Park, stuff I've always wanted to see. And then we were giving ourselves 2 weeks or so to get back home. The wiring disaster ate 2 weeks off of our preparation timeline that's just gone. And then our daughter calls and tells us that she and her new husband are coming up here right after the wedding, which is wonderful, but it means we need to be back home 3,000 miles. It means we no longer have a leisurely sightseeing drive back. We have to be back and quick. So now we have to leave 2 weeks earlier than we had planned and completely rework our route and all the stops so that we can be home by a hard timeline. And that is fine. Everything is fine, except it is not fine. Because there seems to be a subtle problem with the power steering on the truck. The dealer said $3,300, and they will replace the power steering motor, the rack and pinion, the tie rods, safety first, right? And a 2-week wait to get it done. And of course, that money was earmarked for solar. Well, Jeff considered DIY, but it's a big job. So we contacted a trusted mechanic who said he could see it immediately. And after a careful look, he said, your truck's fine. Nothing needs replacing. It is perfectly safe to drive across the country. Good news, right? Yeah, but also more than a little annoying that the dealer tried to pull this scam. Meanwhile, Jeff is trying to finish the RV interior, which includes building a custom desk to replace the dinette. And he wants to use a good piece of oak plywood. But it has been raining constantly for what feels like an entire month, and oak plywood and 40 miles of downpour just do not mix. So more waiting, this time on the weather. And watching our timeline just shrink. Oh, and I got called for 2 weeks of federal jury duty, 3 hours away. I don't mind jury duty, but I have been called every single year for the past 6 years. Makes me feel like the justice system has some kind of frequent flyer program, except they keep forgetting the peanuts. And it turns out having your vehicle in the shop is a valid excuse, so that actually worked out. But for a few days there, I was kind of starting to panic. So here's where things are today. The truck is good. The lights are working. The solar, that's on hold. The interior is still a work in progress, and our timeline, tighter than ever. There is a to-do list that is longer than I'd like, and the lesson learned is never say if nothing else goes wrong out loud. So I am definitely not going to say that. But here's what I will say. I've got another video coming on the money side of all of this. The accessories, the supplies, the things we bought because we genuinely needed them, and the things we bought because they seemed like a really good idea at the time. We bought one of these things, which I thought was a want, but Jeff is convinced it's a need. We'll see. I don't know. You're going to want to watch this one. And you know, Jeff and I have done this kind of thing long enough to know something always goes wrong. Something always costs more, and something always takes longer. You can call me a pessimist. I call it realism, potato, potato. But this trip is still happening. Daughter's wedding is still happening, and we will see new places, sleep in new spots, and wake up with no agenda, which after years of alarms and commutes, still feels pretty wonderful. We'll get there, maybe just a little more beat up than expected, and I will keep you posted on all the ridiculousness between here and there. If you're planning something similar, maybe an RV trip, a big purchase, life on your own schedule, drop a comment and tell me where you want to go. Hit like if this made you feel better about your own to-do list. Subscribe and turn on notifications for all the chaos to come. Take care out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.